5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 1 of the day 2 of the Proleague playoffs between CJ Entus and Rolster. CJ bringing out Hydra already in game 1. Hydra is the blue Zerg player at the 6 o'clock position, whereas KT to challenge Hydra, who is looking intense and focused there. You can see that expression on his face. Brought out Tempest, who looks a little confused. Tempest these days has been going for a lot of cheese. Maybe he's going to do some sort of early rush here, which is almost certainly going to have been predicted by Hydra, and Hydra would have little problem dispatching, I feel, any sort of potential rush strategy coming here. On the other hand, if Tempest goes standard, I still think he's going to be crushed horribly, maimed, if you would, by Hydra's excellent general play, even though Hydra lost in day 1 to stats. I still felt that, Tempest is no stats. Certainly, I'm not so sure where he's going to be able to take on Hydra here. So Tempest is in some trouble, I feel, already. Not exactly an auspicious start for KT. Although, on the other hand, I mean, who else? The only player on KT who I say has odds of beating Hydra is Flash. That's it. Unless Tempest has, for some reason practiced on this map specifically some sort of sniping strategy and alternative. And now, okay, we see a pylon going down here at the front. But this turret strategy has been attempted. You put the pylon there, you put a forge down in your outside your front. Or better yet, you put the forge down in a blocking position outside of the main base of Hydra, and then you put cannons down. This sort of strategy has been done numerous times. Let's see whether there will be cannons going down. There is a drone that managed to sneak its way out. That drone will be critical. If the drone puts down the hatchery, that is going to give double production here for Hydra. He is going to be able to build Zerglings either to destroy any sort of blockading attempt, which now Hydra sees, or he's going to be able to send Zerglings to the main. Either way, I don't think any sort of real attempt to put down cannons is going to be successful. Let's see whether Tempest is going for this cheese. It looks like he is going to go for the cheese. This is the standard method here. You put down the gateway, a cannon in the back, and you may need to put down... how is Hydra sneaking his Zerglings by like that? That's kind of clever. There needs to be another pylon put down here. Pylon is going to get put down here for Hydra. Hydra surely has practiced this sort of build plenty of times. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to bust down the gateway before the cannon and the pylon come online, but there's a little reason for Hydra not to spend as much time as possible trying to kill the gateway. Maybe he's going to persist with it anyway. He is going to persist, and he might be able to break through here. He is going to be able to break through. Oh no, Tempest, what is he doing? No Zerglings going for the cannon. Almost going to be able to finish the cannon off. A drone coming out. The drone going to get the kill on the cannon. 1 kill drone there on the cannon. Absolutely epic, I have to say. And Tempest really screwed that up a little bit. If he put down the pylon earlier, he would have actually survived, or better yet, kept his probe in the area to rebuild a gateway or put down a second cannon. There's any number of things that he could have done. As it stands, Hydra has busted past this little defense, this little rush here, the little defensive rush, if you would, putting down the hatchery at the natural position. Now, Hydra's content to play a normal game, and I really fear here for Tempest's odds. His odds of winning have just gone from about 10% to 1% at this point. I don't see what he can do to try to come back here. He's only now putting down his expansion nexus. He will have defenses in play, probably against any sort of Zergling attack, but he's lost 2 pylons, the gateway he had at the front, and the cannon. These are significant losses, and Hydra has barely been delayed in his economy. I mean, he surely wanted to put down the third hatchery rather a little earlier, but he's not going to care. He's put down a Hydralist, and he is going to win this game with his eponymous unit here. He is just going to bust down the front with a 3-hatch Hydra before lair. I do not see what Tempest can do to stop this, unless he builds only cannons, which is just going to make him lose the game later on. If all he builds are cannons to ward off his Hydraless attack, he can survive in some form. But Hydra, if he sees a gazillion cannons being put down the front, is just going to bide his time, maybe go to layer transition to Mutas or get another expansion. There are so many options he can do at this point to win. Whereas Tempest will need to channel Bisu to have a shot at beating Hydra here. Interesting to note, of course, that CJ does manage to go on to the Pro League Finals. Hydra versus Bisu surely will be one of the matchups. Although it's hard to say, as long as SKT doesn't send out Best to deal with Hydra, because that's going to be slaughter. Best never recovered from his drubbing at the hands of July Zerg against Zerg players. I mean, once he beat Luxury in that best of 5, epic comeback down 2-0 in third game. Best looked like he was going to lose on Troy when he was boxing to his base, but he somehow managed to come back from that. People were convinced he was going to be the next real thing for Protoss, but then July Zerg showed Best who a real Zerg master is, because Luxury, the cheating Luxury, is second rate compared to July Zerg. And this little Zealot here not going to be able to do anything, not even killing Zergling, dying there against Tempt to harass. He's got, Tempest here has got 1 Zealot and a few cannons. He's getting 2 more cannons, it looks like. He sees all sorts of Zerglings out on the field, and now he's going to see the Hydraless. He needs to put down more cannons immediately. Okay, he's putting down quite a few more cannons. I think he'll survive, possibly, the first attack. It's actually a little hard to tell at this point, considering how far ahead economically Hydra is. Hydra is going to go in for the assault here already, sending his Zerglings and his speed Hydraless. He's going to try to pick away at the cannons here. There are 3 cannons now, but the cannons are getting heavily damaged. Tempest has not brought his Zerglings out to fight for him, and now Tempest, having lost the cannon at the front there, is going to lose his Forge too. But Hydra does not quite have enough to get it done now. He's morphing additional reinforcements now, getting his lair, and once he's massed up the second group of Hydras, I fear he should be able to break through. He can get a dozen or so Hydras at the front. He's going to be able to deal with those cannons, I feel, without too much of an issue. There are 2 Zealots there, too. At the gateway going down, there is absolutely nothing blocking the front. And I was talking about July Zerg versus Best, one of the best OSL finals ever, because this game is already over. Hydra's coming in, picking off 2 cannons. Brilliant micro. Not focus firing on 1 cannon, but splitting the fire very effectively. Now all the cannons down now. Probes brought out way too late here. And the last Zealot going down. Just probes versus Hydras. This is a slaughter, and Hydra wins the game as I had predicted. GG coming from Tempest here. Rather poor showing, I have to say, by Tempest. He is a new Hoja in my book, always failing, never impressive anymore. Well, I mean, he had some interesting cheeses early on, or not earlier on, but earlier in the season, rather. But Hydra convincingly taking the set, going on to the next game.
CJ 입장에는 에이스가 나가서 이기는 걸 당연할 때부터 KT 입장은 나쁘지 않은 게 나가서 무슨 김대엽이 진 것도 아니고